In our last video on neuromuscular blockers we talked about atracurium and cisatracurium. In this video we go further and discuss the next neuromuscular blocker, rocuronium, commonly known as ROC. We will explore its pharmacology, mechanism of action, clinical applications, adverse effects, dosing and unique reversal with Sugammadex which are important from the exam point of view. Before discussing rocuronium in detail, it is important to understand where it fits within the classification of non-depolarizing neuromuscular blocking agents. These drugs are broadly divided into two major groups, namely the aminosteroid compounds and the benzylisoquinolineium compounds. Rocuronium belongs to the aminosteroid group and is classified as a non-depolarizing neuromuscular blocking agent. Chemically, this is what rocuronium looks like. The structure is a bit too complex. If you're good at chemistry or medicinal chemistry, I'd love to hear your interpretation. Feel free to share your insights in the comments. Like all non-depolarizing neuromuscular blocking agents, rocuronium acts as a competitive antagonist at nicotinic acetylcholine receptors located on the postsynaptic membrane of the neuromuscular junction. It binds specifically to the alpha subunits of these receptors and prevents acetylcholine from binding and activating them. As a result, the receptor ion channel remains closed, sodium cannot enter the muscle cell, the motor end plate fails to depolarize, and a muscle action potential is not generated. This prevents muscle contraction and produces reversible skeletal muscle paralysis. A major advantage of rocuronium is that, unlike succinylcholine, it does not cause initial muscle depolarization or the brief muscle twitching known as fasciculations. As a result, it does not produce the temporary increase in intraocular, intracranial or intragastric pressure associated with succinylcholine, making it a safer option for patients in whom these pressure increases may be harmful. Beyond its safety profile, it has rapid onset of action. Compared with other non-depolarizing muscle relaxants, it works much faster. After a standard intubating dose, it usually provides excellent muscle relaxation within 60 to 90 seconds, making its onset almost as fast as succinylcholine. In everyday clinical practice, rocuronium is usually administered at twice its effective dose 95. The effective dose 95 is the dose that produces a 95% reduction in muscle twitch response in 50% of patients. For rocuronium, the effective dose 95 is 0.3 mg per kilogram. Therefore, the standard intubating dose for routine tracheal intubation is 0.6 mg per kilogram. At this dose, rocuronium provides excellent intubating conditions within 1 to 2 minutes. However, when rapid sequence induction is required and succinylcholine is contraindicated, the dose of rocuronium can be increased to 1.2 mg per kilogram. At this higher dose, rocuronium produces adequate neuromuscular blockade within approximately 60 seconds, providing rapid airway control and making it an effective alternative to succinylcholine for emergency tracheal intubation. If a higher dose of 1.2 mg per kilogram is used for rapid sequence induction, a longer duration of neuromuscular blockade should be expected. At this dose, muscle relaxation typically lasts for 60 to 90 minutes. Therefore, this dose should be used only when difficult tracheal intubation is not anticipated or when an appropriate reversal agent is immediately available if required. Rocuronium follows a 3-compartment pharmacokinetic model and distributes rapidly from the central circulation into the extracellular fluid, with an initial distribution half-life of 1 to 2 minutes. This rapid distribution contributes to its fast onset of action, which typically occurs within 45 to 60 seconds. Its rapid onset is explained by its relatively low potency compared with vecuronium. Because rocuronium is less potent, a larger number of drug molecules must be administered to produce the desired effect. This creates a high concentration gradient, allowing more free drug molecules, together with its relatively low plasma protein binding of about 30%, to rapidly reach the neuromuscular junction and occupy nicotinic acetylcholine receptors, particularly in the diaphragm and airway muscles. Rocuronium undergoes minimal hepatic metabolism of less than 5% to form its weak active metabolite, 17-decacetyl rocuronium. Instead, the drug is primarily eliminated unchanged from the body, with 50% to 70% excreted via the bile into feces and 10% to 30% cleared through the kidneys into urine. Because it relies heavily on these pathways for clearance, the drug maintains a standard elimination half-life of 1.4 to 2.4 hours in healthy adults. In addition to its speed, rocuronium is renowned for its excellent cardiovascular stability, especially when compared to older drugs like pancuronium. At standard intubating doses, it produces virtually no clinically significant changes in heart rate, arterial blood pressure, or cardiac output. It is worth noting that at much higher doses, rocuronium may exhibit mild vagolytic properties. While this can occasionally result in a slight increase in heart rate, it is rarely severe enough to cause hemodynamic instability in healthy patients. Furthermore, unlike some of the benzylisoquinolinium neuromuscular blockers, such as atracurium, rocuronium does not cause clinically significant histamine release. Therefore, you will not see the typical signs of histamine-mediated cutaneous flushing or hypotension following its administration. Although histamine release is not a concern, rocuronium is statistically one of the most common triggers for perioperative Ig-mediated anaphylaxis among neuromuscular blockers. Vigilance is always required, and you must closely monitor the patient for sudden cardiovascular collapse and bronchospasm shortly after administration. The behavior of rocuronium in the operating room is heavily influenced by your choice of maintenance anesthetic. Volatile anesthetics potentiate the neuromuscular blockade, meaning the block will last longer and require smaller maintenance doses. Conversely, chronic administration of anticonvulsants, such as phenytoin or carbamazepine, can induce resistance to non-depolarizing blockers. Patients on these medications may exhibit a shorter duration of action and require higher or more frequent maintenance doses of rocuronium to maintain adequate surgical relaxation. Objective monitoring with a peripheral nerve stimulator is essential to assess the depth of neuromuscular blockade. Like other non-depolarizing neuromuscular blockers, rocuronium produces a progressive fade. We discussed this characteristic pattern in detail in our previous video. When it is time to wrap up the case, traditional pharmacological reversal is achieved using anticholinesterase inhibitors like neostigmine. Neostigmine increases the concentration of acetylcholine at the neuromuscular junction, thereby outcompeting rocuronium and restoring normal muscle function, provided some spontaneous recovery has already begun. Sugammadex is a modified gamma-cyclodextrin that rapidly reverses aminosteroid neuromuscular blockers, particularly rocuronium, by selectively encapsulating free drug molecules in the plasma. This lowers the plasma concentration of rocuronium, drawing it away from nicotinic receptors at the neuromuscular junction and rapidly restoring neuromuscular transmission, even after deep blockade. Unlike neostigmine, Sugammadex binds the drug directly rather than increasing acetylcholine levels, avoiding muscarinic side effects such as bradycardia, excessive salivation, and bronchial secretions. Sugammadex dosing is based on the patient's actual body weight and the depth of neuromuscular blockade. A dose of 2 mg per kilogram intravenously is recommended for moderate blockade when the second twitch reappears on TRAINA-4 monitoring. For deep blockade, with no TRAINA-4 twitches but 1 to 2 post-tetanic counts, 4 mg per kilogram intravenously is indicated. In emergency, cannot intubate, cannot oxygenate situations after rocuronium administration, 16 mg per kilogram intravenously may be given after an intubating dose of 1.2 mg per kilogram to achieve immediate reversal. To summarize, rocuronium is a rapid-onset aminosteroid, non-depolarizing neuromuscular blocker that provides excellent intubating conditions with minimal cardiovascular effects and no fasciculations. It is an ideal alternative to succinylcholine, particularly when succinylcholine is contraindicated. Objective neuromuscular monitoring is essential to guide dosing and recovery. Finally, Sugammadex has revolutionized rocuronium reversal by providing rapid, reliable recovery, even from deep neuromuscular blockade, making anesthesia safer and more efficient.